Hey guys, CDTVthaG here, and the live chat today is telling me that the G should stand for give me $5. I don't know what it is they're talking about. I'm just confused. I don't know what's going on here. And today, I'm going to be reacting to the new album by Travis Scott, UTOPIA. I'm excited to hear this. We got 19 songs on it. I think that's like the longest Travis Scott album. Before this album came out, I was kind of excited, you know, I was like, okay, that's cool, it's gonna be a big drop and everything. And then the official album cover was released last night, and it gives off big Rodeo vibes, I think. And Rodeo is the best Travis Scott album, it can't be debated. So if it's even close to that in quality, then it's gonna be great. I just want every track to feel like a big event, you know, because that's what Travis Scott does best. Track number 1, HYAENA. I'm excited, I'm nervous. We're gonna see how this goes. Oh. Is this a Kendrick album? Okay.
Okay, this shit is out of control. I'm driving through hell and I done brought snow. I made Italian bread like I done made dough. I be all around the map.
Oh my god, okay.
Poetic justice, I got you in all my stances. With your model stances. C notes, B notes, I took the biggest boat. We stayed down for life. It's like a jingle to do them all. We can lit up every setup, told the preacher I'm never finished, that's to say the least.
Oh my god.
And that's everything I know about it. I know about it.
Alright. Not how I was expecting this to start, but I'm liking this.
I had to rise above it all or drown in my
Ooh. Oh yeah. Is that Mike Dean? Is Mike Dean on this one? That was a great way to start it. I should probably be keeping a list of my favorites and least favorites, but that's definitely going to be written down as a favorite. It did have some sort of like boom-bappy elements to it, and that's really not how I was expecting this to kick off. Travis was rapping over it. It was pretty great. Oh, I like that. That was a good start. And we still finished with those Mike Dean synths, you know? I kind of feel like that gave off a bit of a exceptionally more polished Owl Pharaoh type of vibe. Let's get on to track number 2. We might as well keep pushing through this. Track number 2, Thank God. Ooh.
Praying on the process, mind and spirit.
Ooh.
Still no pressure. Yeah.
Alright.
They was fill over slaps, I guess gotta run this shit back. After I pop me a piece, waited we killing the critics and killing the hate. Might gotta talk to a priest.
God damn, okay.
Tom Brady. Can short my stock, I still stack tall.
Interesting production on that one, man. I do like that kind of like slightly more experimental feel to this. People are gonna call it that Kanye influence, and I can definitely see it. But yeah, track number 2, Thank God, was pretty great as well. I like the fact that we're not getting super generic Travis Scott on here, like we have on a bunch of his like singles and features for the past, what, 5 years? He saves his best stuff for his albums. There's something a little different about this, and I'm enjoying it, man. And I really did like the evolution of that beat. Started off kind of stripped back a little bit, slightly more minimalisty, I guess, and then yeah, around halfway through the drums dropped in and I thought they hit really nicely. It just had that big grand feeling. Eminem and MGK go back and forth. It's wild. Hey, no album spoilers, guys, okay? I don't want to hear about the Hidden Tom McDonald feature. Track number 3, we're starting off pretty strong. This one is called Modern Jam. You.
Baby, please get off the gram. I like you better in the stands.
Oh, this feels so Kanye. I don't hate it though right now.
My dick so hard, poking like the Eiffel. I just need the world, I ain't hard to please. Like
On Sight too. Yeah, this is like Jesus a decade later.
If these niggas on top, then I'm out of space. I'd rather spend it on you than on Uncle Sam.
Why is bro moving his head like that? It ain't even good. I don't think this is bad at all. It's got a good bounce to it. Who's this? Oh wait, that was Tizo Touchdown, wasn't it? Tizo's been on a lot of stuff lately. That one, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't put it down on my favorites list. It definitely felt like it was essentially a Kanye West song, sort of like from the Yeezus era, just made by Travis instead. But I'm still not mad at it. And again, it kept that sort of like weird, slightly different vibe for Travis's music. That was produced by Travis Scott again, Guy Manuel de Homem Cristo, and Mike Dean. Mike Dean on it again. You could tell with those Mike Dean synths. All right, that the Guy Manuel de Homem Cristo guy is half of Daft Punk. I didn't know that. I don't know if he's Daft or if he's Punk, but one of them was on here. That probably really helped to give it a Kanye West-esque feel as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Track number 4, My Eyes. Oh.
1,000 on my feet. Stacks spread it on my seat.
Oh my god, is that Brockhampton?
I was sworn in by a kiss. Smoking on some bitches type of reefer. Honey, don't be no G.
It's an interesting vibe to this one, man.
It's mad how I got so deep. It's mad how I got so high.
Oh, that British accent, that's Sampha. We building up to some right here.
Look at my eyes, tell me your tale. Do you see the road? I'm out to my soul. And tell me the size whenever the smoke is created. Became the most weighted. I gotta find balance and keep me a smile. On the stage, I give them the rage. I'm turning it down. Can't take it out. We doing the streets. We do it for keys. We do it for rights. If I gave you a day in my life or a day in my eyes, don't blink.
Ooh. My Eyes was something a little different as well. I did like that. First part of it was very like smooth, almost sounded a little, to me, like a little Brockhampton-esque. Very short Sampha bit on here, which was pretty nice. Then we had a beat switch up going into the second part. Just constant rapping from Travis. Always sounds pretty good when he does that. He sounds just energetic and pumped up and like he's just flying through his verse. For it, I wouldn't write it down as a favorite right now, but I could definitely see it becoming one for me, if that makes sense. Track number 5, God's Country.
God, country, this is war. My choice is yours. The butterfly reflect the doors. Need more spaces when we jam. In God's country with the fam.
God's Country, I guess my question for that one is like, why does that need to be a song on here, you know? It was so short, 2 minutes long, a quick short track where he doesn't really try anything too different. God's Country felt like one of those like low effort Travis singles that he would put out in between an album. I think overall the production had a very nice haunting sound to it, but just as a track on this album, didn't really care for it, so that's gonna go in the least favorites. Track number 6, Sirens. Ooh.
I was too damn determined. Rap game needed refurbished.
Oh.
I was up top with no service. Yeah, we still do things down to detail. Diva and a Deville. Festy, VR. Up from 2 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. It's a festival right in my room.
I love the drums on this one. Oh. It's gotta be Mike Dean. That's what I mean. Even this one is kind of a short song at 3 minutes and 24, but it's doing way more than God's Country in my opinion, you know?
This is just your hotel room.
Yeah, it looks perfect to me.
Fair enough. So that was track number 6, Sirens. I thought that one was pretty solid as well, to be honest. You know, it sounded like, again, another highly produced track. The drums sounded great throughout the verses. I love the instrumental sort of like bridge or like outro. Sirens, I think, is very close to being a favorite. It's been a very high quality album so far in terms of the individual songs. So let's get into the next one, track number 7, Meltdown. We're gonna let it run into it from Mr. Drizzy Draketh.
It looks perfect to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Academics will be losing it to this one.
Tea time.
Tea time. He's been hanging around 21 Savage too much.
I love to fuck on a regular bitch. Famous hoes lame, but they stay on my dick. But really, the truth is, you're scared of the 6. Yeah, you're scared of the 6.
He really has been hanging around 21 Savage for this one. Holy shit.
My dick just got hard cause a wire just hit. My schedule was out. Come spin us for real. Fuck about all of that heritage shit. Since we not around,
all right.
the bosses in Paris and shit.
Okay.
And they scared of the 7. After 1-3, then we turn up 11. Then she started confessing. I know it's at stake. I'm screaming free Jeffrey, connect, collect calls.
Ooh, you got those Travis Scott hums in the background as well right there. It's crazy how this song just seemed to get better out of nowhere.
Burn that athlete like his calories. Find another flame out his me.
Yeah, is you fucking crazy?
I fuck a nigga bitch, but she can't have a baby. I shoot your ass a wall, my like on a baby.
Oh my god, it's sickle mode too. Meltdown over sickle mode. Right now I disagree. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the Drake feature on there, did not like it at all. I liked Travis on it a lot, but yeah, the whole Drake verse was so corny to me. I think this is also because I just re-listened to Take Care the other day, and Drake is so much better when he's just being a simp man, not when he's cosplaying as a gangster rapper. I did like all the beat switches, the track stayed interesting, just really didn't like Drake's part. Track number 8, I believe this is Fiend. Oh.
Just come outside for the night.
Is that Carti?
I've been focused on the future, never on right now. Well, alright. Trying to fight.
Watch me park my shit, get it live. Yeah, you try to come at the shit.
Is that actually Carti?
Just holding out the level shot. I got these hoes on their toes.
He does sound a bit like Yachty. That was a unique song. It was a pretty fun track, definitely different to what I was expecting. But yeah, apparently that is Carti. I think it's interesting that one feature has caused so much like confusion and discussion. So if that was Carti, I'll give him credit for that. In terms of the actual song, it's probably one on here that I'm not gonna come back to all that much. Like, I didn't really enjoy the track itself, but I thought it had a fun little vibe to it, and I can see why people do enjoy it. It's just not something that really appeals to me. I wouldn't really say that I liked it, but I thought it was interesting. Up next, track number 9, DELRESTO, Echoes. Let's see what we got.
Statues in the next room.
Oh.
Billions in escrow.
Beyonce. Ooh.
I drive alone, you driving reckless to a storm. It's you a breakfast in the morning.
Oh my god, Beyonce's out here talking about the walk. She's sipping up. DELRESTO is a track that I think had its moments. There was stuff that I liked all throughout there. The Beyonce feature was pretty interesting, but overall I feel like the track just kind of dragged on a little bit for me. And Travis sort of played like a, you know, a background role in his own song, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's not always going to be a bad thing, but just on this particular one, I didn't really like care for it like crazy. There was bits and pieces throughout it that I really enjoyed. Just as an overall song, I felt like it just felt a bit too long for me, and I didn't love it, but again, not a least favorite. Let's get on to the next one right here. Track number 10, I Know. What does he know? Ooh.
Tell me if you still love. It's 5 a.m. and I'm drunk right now. I know. She ain't even really my type in out here. She been losing herself to the night shift. I'm telling you just how I feel right now. You say it's just the drugs, and I know.
There definitely is a rodeo vibe to this song, but I'm just not sure how I feel about it.
Then again, I can be drunk.
Waiting on another favorite track to hit. You know, my most recent favorite track on the album was Sirens. I Know wouldn't make it onto my favorites list. I thought it was okay, but on a first listen, it didn't grip me all that much. My favorite part was the first 4 tracks where we had that more sort of like experimentally vibe. Track number 11, this next one right here, I feel like it's got to have a feature, right? Because it's track number 11, TOPIA Twins. Oh, that's Rob 49. Okay, I thought that was Young Boy for a second, but his voice sounded too deep.
stunning like my dad. I'm from New Orleans Project.
Jet ski.
Twin bitches, twin Drakes.
Alright, 21 Savage.
Oh, he think he tough, he just acting, he the rock. Yeah. Amazon Prime, give me 2 days, I bet he drop.
I got the vision, ain't no dipping in that ayahuasca. This shit get thicker than the bitch with stripes unless you twin bitches hopping off a jet ski.
That one was fairly good. That one, it did feel a bit more like typical Travis Scott in a way, I guess I'd say, where it's more like singles Travis Scott, where he's just kind of coming through, doing his thing. I just want to feel that feeling of excitement again that I felt with the opening of the album, you know, and I haven't really got that again since then. The first listen of an album is all about introducing yourself to it, right, and feeling it out and hearing each new song. The second listen, I would say, is the real listen of the album, because you have a general idea of how everything is going to sound, and then you can really like focus in on what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy about each individual song. So that's why I'm saying that I think how I feel about this album will change on a second listen. So let's get on to the next one. Track number 12, Circus Maximus.
Unreal, what is this?
Travis Scott's Black Skinhead? Is that what this is?
A walking distraction. I'm naturally black.
Oh my god, this is his Black Skinhead basically. But it does feel more like the opening of the album, which I like.
When I'm back in the streets, I'm outside, I'm patrolling. When I'm back in the
Oh, it's your boy, The Weeknd.
I've been up in Cabo with my belly of Santo. Pardon me, the socket turn to Socrates. Having moments on the ground whenever I'm walking in. I'm waiting on a let go. I'm waiting on a let go.
Beautiful outro. I think that might go down as a potential favourite Circus Maximus. It was kind of what I was asking for, something that gave me a similar feeling to the opening of the album, and that felt pretty much just like it. A couple features on there. The production sounded extremely Yeezus inspired once again, but I was okay with that. Kind of had like similar drums to Black Skinhead, I think. Then we had that beautiful synth outro, which you already know, like that's one of my favorite things to hear. Track number 13, Parasail. 2.5 minutes. Let's see how this one goes.
I stand tall. I fall.
Dave Chappelle.
I get up.
Interesting feature.
Looking through a glass, watching by the bushes, waiting on a breeze. Parasail, flying through the bush, where we gon' rock, where success comes so easy for you.
Oh, Young Lean. Okay.
I choose to feel good.
I haven't really listened to much Young Lean myself, but I thought he sounded pretty cool on here, fit the vibe of the track. I think Parasail was a nice little interlude type of song. Not too mad at it, kind of gave me a bit of a Drugs You Should Try It feel, but like way more stripped back and toned down than that song, because that track is just incredible. This one was pretty nice. And then it goes into SKITZO, the next track, which is 6 minutes and 6 seconds long. Cowbell in there. It's one of my least favorite sounds, but that's okay. It's just so distracting.
With the heat talk, watch it burn your soul off. You do that dip. Told you I'ma be right back as long as do that dip. Big me, I'm bling bling. I get a rush every time I see something.
Young Thug, okay.
I've been jumping out the gym with no joints on. She been all above the rim on her torso. I got white folk money in my nail with no gold. I got rose gold teeth and rose gold rims on my road.
Wondering if it's gonna stay like this for the whole song. Gotta be a beat switch, surely.
Without going deep, Shakespeare took the squad, brought the play right here. Got the vision and I made that clear. Going that I'm the human Pinterest, need true love. But
did he say I'm the human Pinterest?
Stick to the code, binary like eyes and nose. I'm too exposed, I gotta keep curtains closed. There still ain't no chrome hot. I cut some off, I have to better myself.
What? Oh, why is this just coming in for like the end of the track?
Talk shit, ain't got no trident. I'm loyal, bitch, I got yay over Biden.
Oh my god. Yo, I wish this was the beat for more of this. Oh my god. Overall, I did enjoy it though, but this was the best part for the last minute. I thought SKITZO was pretty solid. My favorite part of it was definitely the last minute of the track. The first two parts were fairly decent. You know, the Young Thug verse was alright. I think for the most part, I prefer Young Thug over beats that are slightly different rather than just sort of like standard dark trap production. He can sound good over it, but it just never gives my favorite verses. Is it a favorite? It could be after more listens. It's just this, on this first listen, all I could focus on was the fact that like that last minute of the song was my absolute favorite part, and I wish more of it sounded like that. Because yeah, I like it the most on this album right now when it's not just your typical sort of like dark trap production. It's all very like well done and very highly produced, but I like the ones that try something a little bit different, that's not just kind of what you would expect from Travis, you know? Track number 15, Lost Forever.
Have you ever been lost?
Okay.
Lost on islands, driven in boat cars. Just bring your girl, feel like she go fast. Too much power, too many hours. All in the day, I sent the flowers.
Okay, I'm liking this one already.
Baby girl thinks she in Honolulu. Don't you know you in the Afalu? She jump up, bounce back like trampoline.
Trampoline bars. Boom, 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 boom. All right, West Side Gun. Man.
First one to pop, first to earn the strike. 3 strikes in, 25 to life.
I like the ones that have those little weird, eerie elements to them, like this one did. Lost Forever, I put that on the favorites. I think that works really well for an album called Utopia. It kind of goes against your expectations a little bit. You know, this album doesn't necessarily sound like a paradise. It sounds weird and dark and a little creepy in places, and I really like that. We had a West Side Gun feature on there, and I think it was perfect production to hear him over. It sounds like a dystopia so far. That's the genius of Travis Scott. He called it Utopia, but the album goes the other way. It's genius. Let's get on to the next one right here. We're starting to move, I guess, into the closing stretch of the album. Track number 16, Love.
I get it, love. They love me long time. Y'all feel like that?
I want the whole album to be like this, man. Those drums.
Come and kick back with us.
I really like how this is sounding so far.
Imagine my world of misogyny. Nigga, fuck a monogamy.
Misogyny?
Cause I'm always stressing, always cuffing different numbers. Know he tired of making shit, you know the streets don't make the plumbers. Y'all feel like that? Y'all feel like that?
The night is too young and the love in the air hit me.
Oh, is that Kid Cudi?
Baby, since you ready, we about to find out. Don't be mad, just good and found out.
Cudi's voice really works with this too, I think. Wow. Holy shit. I thought that was incredible. That's absolutely one of my favorites. That right there is another one that I could point to and say, this is what I want the album to sound like. Just the way that was executed was perfect. The production felt different. I just love the stuff that takes less of an influence from, like I said, the typical dark, nocturnal trap sound, and does something a little bit different and just feels like a slightly more experimental track. I don't know like how people are going to feel about that one, but I loved it. Let's get into the next one. Track number 17, K-Pop, was released as a single. I've not heard it yet, so this is going to be my first listen to it. I know a lot of people don't like the track. I have no clue how I'm going to feel about it. I believe it features The Weeknd and Bad Bunny, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see how it goes.
Switch. Move that shit out here. Think they gon' find out again. Think I gotta bind out again.
It feels a bit guidance-y, so I can already see what people weren't loving about it. It's very standard, pretty generic. It's not bad. Maybe saying that it doesn't fit on the album is fair, but after Love, it kind of works, maybe. I didn't think that was bad at all. Like, I was expecting the worst thing ever. I will say that lyrically, The Weeknd's verse kinda ass. Love when she'll call me papi, even though she Korean. Alright, south of France, we gon' party. This ain't some lil yachty. We gon' fuck till we seasick. You're my bad little mommy, whatever. As long as you don't focus on The Weeknd's lyrics, it sounded very smooth. It wasn't a good song, but yeah, I was expecting something way worse from what I saw like everybody saying about it, and instead it was just kind of generic and standard. Track number 18, Telekinesis. We got 2 more left. Let's go. Is that Future?
Shorty give me mop with the less it don't last. Taking more drugs, I'll go alone in a mansion. I recline in I
You know the future of the bounce. I can hear the crowd so loud. I can see the future.
This album has been closing out pretty strong, man.
You know the future of the bounce. So much money to my skin peel. Lights on the earth, so I had to name myself a planet. Automatic dead when you going against my family.
Now he gon' pop up unannounced to the trumpets. Do you like the way it sounds? I can get it now, don't you?
Okay, SZA.
You ain't been doing enough. So go.
Damn, SZA sounded beautiful on there. SZA, Travis, and Future all sounded great on there. Even if you have some tracks in the middle of an album that need some time to grow on you, if you start and finish strong, that's really good, and that's what this is doing, and it's got me thinking, man, a couple more re-listens could absolutely be Album of the Year contender. Like one of the albums of the year. So I'd probably put Telekinesis down as a favorite. Thought everyone was great on there. SZA's vocals were absolutely amazing. Beautiful production. Travis's hook was great. No complaints there. I guess it's time to finish the album up then. Track number 19 on Utopia. The last song, Till Further Notice.
Now that you're done with me, where we go? I should have waited some more.
My mama always told me put yourself first.
Another 21 feature.
Used to deal with lames till she ran into a stepper. Big dog savage, I'm a zone 6 rapper.
This sounds like so many other 21 features. I know I've said this a lot lately, but I do like this. It's just, yeah, 21 Savage features have been sounding like really similar for a while. So I'm not crazy about hearing him on songs, but he was good on here.
You know the love was X-rated. They're trying to fit a shade of greatness by celebrating. Bring entertainment. Take a sip. I've been going off the rip. I've been bumping more cold play. Always knew she always on one and I can bear it. Yeah,
ooh, I like that kind of like alien sounding pad or synth or whatever it is in the back there. I like that. There we go. That's the end of Utopia right there. Straight away, I've got to say, guys, 0 out of 10. The chat agrees too. There was no NF feature. There was no Tom McDonald feature. There was no Hobson feature. It can't get more than a 0 with that, you know? But for real though, I thought that was a good closer to the album. James Blake sounded really cool on this. 21 Savage had a solid feature, but it sounds like every feature he's had for the past few years. Like people were saying, he is a consistent feature artist, but it's just to the point where I don't really get excited to hear him anymore. It's just like, oh right, that's another 21 Savage feature where he's saying a lot of the similar things just in a different order. It's becoming very, 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 very noticeable with 21 Savage that he says like the same things on his features now with the same flow. But still, I enjoyed him on here, and I thought Travis was really solid. I loved the parts where he was straight up rapping on this album. Hearing that, it was just really good. I think he's done it really well on here. But all that being said, let's get into my initial thoughts on Utopia. No final thoughts, but initial thoughts. I think you guys could tell from my reaction that the part of the album that hit me the strongest on this listen was the opening and the closing sections of it. There was definitely parts in the middle where I was like, some of these songs are dragging on a little bit. They're not hitting like crazy for me. But a lot of them I think will be songs that grow on me with more listens. And I think this is absolutely going to make it into my top 10 rap albums of the year list. This was actually exciting to listen to. I had a good time listening to it. And there was a lot of tracks that really blew me away, which again is not an experience I've had with a crazy amount of rap releases this year. Before we get into any more thoughts on the project, we're gonna go through my favorites and least favorites on here, as we always do. So my favorite tracks on here from my first listen were HYAENA, Thank God, Sirens, CIRCUS Maximus, Lost Forever, Love, and Telekinesis. I think that's like, what, 7 tracks? As for least favorites on the project, off of this first listen, I put God's Country as a least favorite simply because it was so short and it almost felt out of place in a way, because no other track just felt as like short and standard as that one did. I did like the production, the sort of like eerie vocal sample, and the beat. The beat was great, but I just feel like as an overall song, it was the one on this album that just kind of like was the most just there to be there. It didn't really do much. If I was gonna give a first reaction rating for this, it's so hard to do because I know it's gonna change a lot over time, but I feel like I'm sitting sort of like 7 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10. But again, don't take that as meaning anything at all, because that could change so much with more listens, and I have a feeling my rating is just gonna go up for this, not down. Domingo is asking me here, as of right now, where do you think it ranks in his discography? Right now, it's really hard to say, but I think I'm definitely going to end up having this above Birds. And I like Birds. I'm someone who thinks Birds is a good album. I know some people don't like it, but I think Birds is good. I actually think Birds is pretty damn good. I would say Utopia is probably going to be battling it out with Astroworld for the number 2 spot in Travis's discography. I think I'm always going to have Rodeo at number 1, but who knows? Maybe in a few years I'll look back and be like, Utopia? That was pretty special. Utopia is like Astroworld's evil twin, in a way, I guess. Like I said, I think right now I'm sitting between a 7 to an 8 out of 10, but a first reaction rating is very different to a final rating, and it definitely could grow further from that.